Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold. Uh, since the last video, I've been doing a lot of web surfing, and I've always been of the opinion that, somewhere there had to be a lot more ladies involved in the machine shop kind of stuff. For a long time, the only one I've known about was Emma Ritson down in Australia. Well, I've come across another one who I suppose is in Germany. The name of the channel is Waffenschmidt, or Waffenschmidt. No, Waffenschmied. I'll get it right. It means armorer in English. And the lady's got definitely talents that equal to anything of the major machine shop channels we've been watching. She can do anything the big boys can do. And I've watched her build a single shot bolt action 22 rifle, and I watched her build a rifling device to rifle gun barrels, and now I've started watching her building a single action revolver, and undoubtedly I imagine it's going to come out really good too. I know the rifle did. Also, I was thinking about something else, and I've noticed a lot of videos, where people go and they take them with their cell phone and they hold their cell phone like that, If you want to take videos, it'd look like this from the back, but hold your cell phone over on its side, and then your video will fill the whole screen. If you hold it up like that, it's going to look like you're looking through a keyhole and make all your viewers halfway irritated, at least the old cranky ones, Old Bubba, we'll get into him here. Bubba went over to see his grandpa. He called him Pappy, and they sat out to eat some supper there. And Bubba looks at the plate, and Bubba's not really particular about things most of the time, but it looked kind of like he thought it might have some stuff on it there. And he says, Pappy, he says, how come this plate don't look too clean? Pappy says, now, Bubba, just shut up about that. He says, that plate's as clean as cold water can get it. Bubba says, oh, okay. So he eats, and after they get down there a while, he gets another plate because he wanted another plate of something or another. He looks at it and he says, Pappy, he says, this plate don't look too clean either. His grandpa says, no, Bubba, he says, don't worry about that. He said, that plate's as clean as cold water can get it. Just don't worry about it. Just sit down and eat, So Bubba, he sat down and he ate his dessert out of the next plate there. So when he got ready to go, he starts heading for his truck, and his grandpa's dog is just nipping at his heels and all that. And he says, Pappy, he says, your dog won't let me get out here to go to my truck. And Pappy says, oh, he says, just a minute. He says, hey, cold water, you lay down there and leave him alone. Well, poor old Bubba, I guess his grandpa can't get a break either. So anyway, let's. I got a tiller at a estate auction, and I got a pretty good deal on it. I paid $100 for it. It's one of those Husqvarna tillers, and there was only two things wrong. One, the pull rope on it was hanging out some, and they had lost the depth stake off of the back of it. It wasn't included there somehow. So what we're going to do today, we're going to fix that rope, that pull rope, and we're going to make a depth stake for the tiller. I'd asked a couple of people online that had tillers like that if they'd measure them and let me know, but I never got a reply. So I guess maybe they might not have got my messages either, or maybe they're too busy or whatever. But we're going to do the best we can out of just looking at the drawings. So let's get on with it. It's supposed to be 80 out today. I don't know, it's turning kind of cloudy and cooling off. I don't know if it ever got there or not. It feels like about 71 or 2 right now. But that's one of the latest little experiments here, is growing stuff in the yard. And I rented a tiller to do that, and I know that was 4 hours of work just to get that little bit of stuff busted up. But I mean, this is the first time around, I decided we'll give this, say, 3 or 4 years and see how it works out. If I don't like it, then we can let it all go back to weeds like it was before. But I got my own tiller, and I'm going to show you that now. I picked up this guy at an estate auction, and looks to me like it's in good shape. It used to be a rental tiller at Redneck Supply, so it's got their little etching on it there with a number. There's number 48. I don't know if it was tiller number 48 or tool item that they rented number 48, but there it is. And I've cranked her up, and there's only 2 problems with it. One is right down here. There should be a depth stake there, and so I'm gonna have to make one of those. I looked online and they get, you know, like 35, 40 bucks, those things. It's just a piece of metal with holes in it, and I've got to rewind that rope there. I'll take the little rope mechanism off and clean it up and tighten up the spring, and it's sticking out like that because I started it and it runs good. So I'll get my tools and take that little booger off. There's just 3 little bolts on there that have got to come off, and even if it rains out here, I'll be inside by the time it starts. I'll just get those 3 bolts off and go in the garage and clean that thing up. After looking at this thing for a while, I decided that someone had wound too much rope onto it, and it was starting to pile up out here and hang when it come through these spots. And so it wouldn't retract all the way because it was too big. So I cut, oh yeah, I can't get my hands out for it. I cut a little over 1 foot out of it, and now when it rewinds, it doesn't stick out past the edges of that little spool there. It sure is still close to it, but at least it rolls back up, and there's not enough rope for it to actually get hung on these pieces here. So I'm going to go back and put it back on and see if I can crank it a while, and if it rewinds every time. As far as I can tell, that thing's setting about level, so I'm just going to go over there and measure how far it is to the ground, and then we'll make the bar about 6 or 7 inches longer than that. The wind almost blew my ruler away there, my tape measure. Anyway, it's about 13 inches from the top of that bracket to the ground. So I guess we're going to make this thing about 20 inches. With any luck, this will be a really nice straight cut. I've adjusted it somewhat. Not that it really matters that much if it's a straight cut, because from what I saw, the tiller stake, it's actually got to have a little angle on the end of it anyway. I'm gonna drill holes about every inch for about 7 or 8 inches there, and I'm gonna drill them as if that piece was 1 inch wide instead of 2, and maybe that will make it well, I don't know. I'm gonna think about it while it's cutting before I start saying anything like that. Okay, there's the depth stake, and you can see we've got 6 holes up here for the adjustment, and the one here to sort of just keep it in a neutral position, and a hole down here that I don't know what's for, but I'll include it. And I'm guessing these are all an inch apart. These others, who can say? I'll just have to make a guess at it, and then like I say, it's on an angle there on the end. We'll cut that on it too. Yeah, obviously I don't need the kind of accuracy that I can get here, but I can get it, so why not? just a little ½ inch further than I needed to go. Now we're 98 thousandths further. Well, I better double check, hadn't I? That's one wrong way. So, that should be 1 inch from the end. So, put a bit in there and find out. Start off with a small bit and drill bigger. So we should be right on the edge at 1 inch down, and I'm drilling 3/8 holes. I'm saying I'm doing it in a 1 inch width, so to make that match I'll have to come over. Let me calculate that. Okay, so I don't need the kind of accuracy that I can get with this piece of equipment, but I can get it, so I'm going to do it. I've moved over ½ an inch from the edge and 1 inch down from the end, which I think puts me about the same as what I'm trying to copy. So we'll work on that. Everything looking good. We'll drill a bunch of holes. We'll drill a little hole and then we'll drill a big hole. And that's too floppy. I need to put something under it. I don't have any machinist jacks, but I'll find something to go on. I think machinist jacks are on the list. Next time I go online for ordering anything, I'll get a couple. And that's obviously too slow. I got to speed that up. I'll be right back. That's better. I could do this on the drill press, but I want them to be just exactly the right distance apart. Okay, so it's all going to be rinse and repeat, so I'll bring you back in a little bit. Well, considering that I don't know what I'm doing, I went ahead and drilled 7 holes because I don't know. Now we will, there was one hole off by himself down here. We're going to go down and make him. I better change bits while I can. I'll go down and drill 2 small holes, and then I'll change the bit again for the big one. But I'm too close to get it in and out of there. And I don't want to raise the head again. Right there we go. Okay. So, I think it was 3/4 inches over from the other hole. But I'll tell you what, I'll go back outside and I'll measure one more time. I don't know what that hole down there would be for, so I'm just going to leave it out. Let's see what I'm talking about. Anyway, the hole down there at the bottom, I don't know what he's for, and I'll go and cut this off on the bandsaw, and then we'll find a bolt and stick it in there and see how good we did. It's easy to chamfer holes when you've got a machine like this doing it. Now I know what you're thinking. Did he chamfer 6 holes, or was it just 5? Well, do you feel lucky? Alright, that's enough poor humor. Well, I made a sort of a guesstimate of what I would look like if I were an angle on a piece of steel. And then I set it in there to cut like that. When we get that done, I've got to find a little bolt for the missing piece. And we'll go out and stick it on and see if it looks ridiculous or right. Okay, I had to go back and redo one bolt. I mean, one hole. Okay, so there we are, and yeah, I did straighten out the pull rope. It had to have another foot cut off of it to keep from piling up. It was apparently about more than 2 feet too long. So I guess there's my stake. Wonderful or not, that's what it looks like, and maybe I'll find out sometime what the real actual dimensions are and do it right, but I bet it'll work like that.